So I suppose we should start with what we're doing.
Yes, we are making a tier list.
It's a tier list of all the NPCs in Isop0dyssey, including, but not limited to, little memes.
And hardcore James.
Truly. Yeah, and the Sunlight Zone is like the best, what we think are the best NPCs, and the trenches are what we think are like less good. Though I'll be honest, I kind of like like all of our NPCs. So
Yeah.
it will be hard, it will be hard. But within this like fond outlook on the NPCs, we will learn them. Okay, are you ready to get started?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So for starters, we have Anita.
Yeah,
Would
what do you
you?
think about Anita,
Yeah.
our
So
tutorial?
I think that Anita is first of all well named. I like how you named her. And then second of all, I like that she is like, oh, setting up a little bit that these are the controls, and also here's like this information about the world. So functionally, she's useful, but I don't think she's particularly fun aside from how she was named. So where do you
Okay,
think?
so uh, for me, Anita has sentimental value because she's named after Anita Kunitz from the Glanzer and Kunitz study from 1966.
Hmm.
And it was a study on free recall. So, kind of ties into the reminding the player how to move. And I did a replication of this study and I got a bad grade, but that's kind of
Bruh.
on me. It's kind of on me because, like, I was very tired and yeah, at least I did pass. So
Was
there's
this in
that.
university?
No, it was in high school.
I mean, fair enough. I feel like you probably put in more effort than a regular high schooler anyway. Do you have a
Yeah.
recommendation or on where Anita should go?
Um, well, like somewhere in the middle, I think.
Yeah, I thought of
Mm,
her as like a Midnight Zone gal, or
yeah,
maybe an Abyssal Zone gal.
let's go with midnight.
Alright.
I,
So
I'm a sentimental person, so
the next person is Bartlett, the person standing at the tram stop watching the uh, posters. Now, my personal opinion is that Bartlett is S tier, but
absolutely. Like
let's go.
he's named after Frederick Bartlett, who was an actual experimental psychologist, like the real deal.
You are an experimental psychologist too, at least in our hearts.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah,
well,
I
not for only in our hearts, because truly I lied just to get this job.
I
I'm not an actual experimental psychologist. Anyway, Bartlett did the famous War of the Ghosts experiment.
yo.
And that was an experiment that we replicated in class, and I ruined it because I remembered the story correctly, which is not something that was supposed to happen in the experiment.
Uh-oh. Which
So
experiment is that? Do you want
it
to
was
tell
like
me more about it?
an experiment that the scientists told the participants a story. The story was called War of the Ghosts. That's why it's a War of the Ghosts experiment.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like I think it was a Native American story, I think. And the task was that the participants were told this story, and after a while, they were asked to tell the story again to back to the scientists. And the longer time they gave them between listening and telling, the worse the recall was.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it means that our memories get worse in time, basically.
I see.
Yeah, if it's any consolation, I do not remember the story at all now. So, yay, the
It wasn't
experiment.
important enough. Yeah, so my thoughts on Bartlett is that, of course, excellently named, but also when I wrote his dialogue, I thought myself very funny, and then for his like, he says something and then he's like, I can't read, and I cannot comment on whether or not it's actually funny, but I for some reason I'm still proud of it, so I would say S tier,
Well, in my
yes.
opinion, it is funny, so definitely S tier. Also, fun fact, the only thing that I remember from that story is that at some point, that guy coughed up something black. And I remember it because around the same time we were doing Madame Bovary for literature. And
Oh.
spoiler alert, somebody dies in Madame Bovary at the end. And that person also coughs up something black after dying. So I was like, what's up with that? Why do dead people cough up something black? And nobody could answer me.
It's a popular horror trope too. Well, we're
Yeah,
getting a bit
I still don't
derailed,
know.
but yeah.
I Googled it and it wasn't much help. So a mystery.
Could it be dried blood?
It could be.
Because I
Yeah.
hear that can get pretty dark. But yes, our next isopod, I recognize this one. This is Beck.
Oh. Yeah, okay, go on.
Actually, you should start this time because I'm not sure about my thoughts on Beck. I will take a look at the image here. Uh,
Beck is the guy with monopoly on depression. Like he saw depression and he went, is anyone gonna write 600 articles about that? And he did not wait for an answer. If you ever need to cite a study on depression, but you cannot remember who wrote it, it was probably Beck. You can write that it was Beck, and even if it wasn't, like nobody's gonna get surprised that you mistook it for Beck. Like anything you need connected to depression, Beck's got your back. Beck's depression inventory, Beck's hopelessness scale, Beck's scale for suicidal ideation, Beck's anxiety inventory, and and also suicide intent scale. Like he's got it all, and he also lived to be 100 years old. So yeah,
Damn,
at
depression makes
least
you live longer.
yeah, at least Twilight Zone in my opinion.
Yeah, we can put them in Twilight Zone. I also like about Beck. Beck is connected to another NPC. I'm not sure what their name is, but they're the one that's like next to the factory. And both that NPC and Beck, we'll find out later their name, I'm sure. Um, both refer to like seeing a black spot, and then it's like this was originally sort of a wink at the original isopod religion. Like we planned that there's an old religion with like pretty much like eldritch gods, and the only person that remembers this religion even existed is the like homeless guy Minos. Um, but then these two guys see like this black spot that I think was caused by the old eldritch god, who was originally like the person choosing the player isopod as someone worthy of the ascend to the surface, because right originally they were gonna go up to the surface. But yes, I
This is
agree
very
they
funny
can go
because
Twilight
I
Zone. Yeah.
this is very funny because when I read about the black spot in the sky, I always just assumed that this is about a fungus growing on a ceiling. Like I did not even question it.
I mean, one of them
It
even
just,
says that it's black mold, the
oh,
other one,
okay,
but
okay.
it's
So
not
I had,
actually.
okay, so maybe I had some reason to think that.
Yeah, and Beck says I think that it reminds them of their mother's eyes. So I think that's
Oh,
pretty endearing. Twilight Zone it is.
yes.
Okay, now the next two are like together, and they are Boogie and Boti. And I named these ones out of after my friends' like siblings, and they are named actually Boogie and Boti, and they have like matching names, which I
Mhm.
found pretty funny. Um, but to be honest, the names are not that great and the dialogue is not that great. So I think if we put anyone in the trenches, then it can be Boogie and Boti. I don't know what you think.
Oh, I like them because they are on a seesaw.
That's true,
I
that's true.
think maybe at least Abyssal Zone.
Okay, they can be Abyssal Zone. I can live with that. Boogie, Boti. Actually, I think this is Boogie and this is Boti, just to make it clear. Okay, now the next person, I have to check their name. Drought is the next one.
Oh,
I love Drought. It's the
I think I
it's
I
the
think I was the
NPC.
one naming him, but
You
it
are
was
also
around.
the one who wrote him, and it was very funny because we wrote the NPCs sort of like separate, and then we showed them to each other. And I remember like you were like Drought, and like another NPC that I wrote that had like similar dialogue. This NPC and this NPC are kissing in the mouth or something. You messaged
Oh
that,
yeah, there was something like that. Yeah.
and I was like, yes, it was beautiful. I think it was Giarotti, or I don't know how to say his name, but it's this guy. Drought
Geraciotti
and
maybe?
Geracciotti. We are. I feel like this is an Italian name, and we're butchering it.
Yeah, I should have checked beforehand how to pronounce these names.
This is authentic like this. Don't worry about it. So yeah, this guy and this guy, they are connected in soul at least, I
Yeah.
believe.
Um,
But yeah, go on about the naming.
yeah, Drought was he wasn't named after anything. I just thought it would be funny to have someone with dry name at the bottom of an ocean.
Mm, that is pretty fun actually.
Yeah,
I
I
was
would give
thinking,
him.
I know that it's like drought as in uh like missing of water, but I was always thinking of it as drought the fish. Like
Oh,
it's also he's also named after a fish
mm,
who are like slaves, so I thought that was pretty funny too. It's probably spelled
yeah.
differently though. But yes, where would you put him?
Maybe Midnight Zone?
I really like drought, so could it be Twilight Zone mayhaps?
Okay. He
I
should
like
be with
them.
his he should be with his other half, that's for
True,
sure.
true. I really like their dialogue. Is why I want to put them in Twilight Zone.
That was Geraciotti, right?
Yes, yes.
Actually, that one is named after a psychologist.
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah, not very fun though, because he wrote about PTSD patients with high levels of uh, noradrenaline, which is like a fight or flight neurotransmitter. So,
Them.
uh, also about cortisol in abused children and like in general brain hormones. So yeah, important studies definitely deserves Twilight Zone.
Definitely, I can agree with that. Also, another thing with Drought and Geroti, or sorry for butchering that name, it's gonna continue happening, is that I think they are placed well in the world. Like the aside from there was like a bug with them, but now that that's fixed, the little umbrella that Drought has, and then where the other isopod is the tip of a buried lighthouse, basically. And I think those are like pretty nice spots, though, to be fair. Like
Yeah,
the sort of area that Jaroti is like kind of dead. Like we didn't decorate it super well, but it's fine. It's fine.
I am Googling the pronunciation. Hold
Oh,
on.
make Google say it, please.
Yeah. Oh
By the way,
no, Google doesn't have pronunciation for it. Okay, I'm gonna
no.
check some website. Let's
While
see.
Likop is looking for this, I will say that um, I made this a public template, so if
That
when
is
we're done with this,
no
I
way.
should be able to share it on the Discord, and then people can do this if they would like. I don't want to talk too
Oh,
much about their dialogue to not spoil the game, but we will mention it a little bit.
I found the pronunciation, but that is 100% not how it's pronounced.
Well,
Like, I do not,
how
I don't believe it. Okay, I don't know if you're gonna, uh,
a what?
Giraffai. No way. No way. Hold on.
Okay, it's not Italian at all.
Let's try it this way. Okay, Geraciotti sounds much
Yeah,
more
I can believe that.
believable. I can believe that.
Geraciotti.
Yes.
Yes, so he's in the top of an abandoned lighthouse. Alright, now that we have found out how to pronounce Geraciotti, let's never talk about him again and move on to. I think
Yeah.
this is Eupterida or Eupterida. I don't know how you like prefer because in Hungarian you really butcher these names and you are meant to pronounce them like Eupterida and these things, but I don't know in English what is the proper way to do it.
Well, in Polish we say the same as in Hungarian. I think it would be Eupterida in English, but doesn't matter really.
It doesn't matter. She is the tired mother.
Well, I don't know why, but I don't like her much.
Mm.
I like that she's named after uh Eurypterus, which is like a creature
Mm-hmm.
from, oh gosh, I think it was Silurian period. Not sure. Long time ago.
Isn't it
Uh,
Devonian actually?
maybe.
Hmm.
Anyway, long time ago.
Yeah, dead creature.
And that's like the only cool thing. So I think I would put her in the trenches. Also,
Mm.
she's very tired, so like, she's in the trenches.
I do kind of like Eupterida, but I can be fine with her being in the trenches. It's alright though. Is she worse than Boogie and Botty? I
Mm,
suppose she's not on a seesaw, so that's
not
that's
on a
fair.
seesaw, but if you want her in Abyssal Zone, I can agree to that. So,
Alright. Abyssal Zone it is. Okay, the next person I think is Hardcore James. Yeah.
yeah,
Let's go, S tier.
S tier easy.
Easy.
No questions here.
No context. Anyway, next one. I think this is Yusto. Now, I don't particularly like the Bogitech isopods. Um, and that doesn't mean that I dislike them per se. I think that they're very nice, but they're sort of like extra content, or like Easter egg.
Yeah.
So I think they are like a bit uh, like not fitting as well in the world as the other ones. So for me,
Oh.
they are probably Abyssal Zone or Trenches, but they are named after cats. So
Yeah, that's a big plus.
yeah, that
I
is a
was
big
about to
plus.
say that the card names are, yeah, Abyssal Zone.
All right. Shall we sort Matilda and Rusu there too?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and they don't have their own dialogue per se, but instead there was like a little bit of lore written by Maruska for the Bogitek, and they recount that in third person. So that's like a plus extra of how they
Yeah,
differ from the other ones.
also in our YouTube content farm, there was the video with Matilda in the trenches. So, well, at least now she's in Abyssal Zone. She got out of the trenches, so
Yeah,
nice.
that is pretty good. The story continues. Alright, the next one is Little Mimus.
Little Mimus.
Can you tell us about Little Mimus?
Well, he is one of the bosses in the factory, or, well, more like the only boss that we
Yeah,
see
the
in the
shift
game,
manager.
the shift manager. Um, yeah, as I just called him that because funny.
Yeah, and he has the Patrick
No deep
Bateman
lore
business
behind
card.
that. Yes, and the business card, I made it after the American Psycho business
Yeah.
card.
So I like the name of Little Mimus, and I like the dialogue that we wrote for him if you press on him again. But the first dialogue where he basically tells you how to sort bottles is, like, in my opinion, not the best. Um,
Well, it's just basically sort of like a tutorial.
yeah, it's kind of like, oh my god, I wanted to say her name first. It's kind of like Anita in that sense, where it
Yeah.
serves a function, but it's not particularly beautiful. But I do like the second thing that he says, so I would reckon like Twilight Zone, mayhaps Midnight Zone. What do you think?
I would put Little Mimos in the trenches just because it would be funny. But if we were if we were talking serious, then yeah,
Fair
Midnight
enough.
or Twilight Zone.
Nah, he's banished now.
Yeah, he's vanished.
All right. Then the next guy is the one that is hanging out at the motel called Loftus.
Loftus.
Yeah, I actually have to check. I forgot Loftus's dialogue, so. Ah, I got him now.
I like Loftus because he's named after the Loftus and Palmer study from 1974. And that study
Mm.
was called car crash experiment, and it involved reconstruction of automobile destruction. And like, I don't know what to tell you. It's like easily Sunlight Zone for me.
I can accept that. I like his dialogue too. It's fun times. All right, next guy. I wonder who this is. Let us see. Oh,
Is
this is
that Seligman?
Matsumoto. I think it's
Oh, it's
Matsumoto.
Matsumoto.
So I know this is gonna be a hot take, but I don't like Matsumoto's name. But his dialogue, though, I think he is Sunlight Zone material. What is your opinion?
For me, Matsumoto is like trenches material because well, we used Matsumoto, the psychologist, to cite a culture definition. Like every
Mm-hmm.
time we would give a definition of culture, we would use Matsumoto as a citation,
Okay,
and
but
that's like
consider
just like
this.
hmm?
Finish.
Yeah, it's just like not extremely cool. He's just used for a definition.
Okay, but consider this Matsumoto the NPC has a
Yes.
weed farm.
Mm,
So
okay.
at least
Yeah.
Midnight Zone.
Yeah, I agree.
Alright. I can agree with that. The next one is the isopod that talks about racing. I wanted
Yes.
Merton Ross.
Yes.
Yes, I like Merton Ross.
I like him too.
Do you have like any reasons for naming him that way?
He's named after two different guys, Michael Ross and Robert Merton.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Michael Ross, I mean Michael Ross, the psychiatrist or psychologist, not the serial killer, because apparently there is also a serial killer with that name, but
Eh?
it's not. It's not him. It
I'm
was
not him.
Ross and Miller wrote a paper on self-serving biases, and
Mm-hmm.
the NPC kind of talks about that, sort
Yeah.
of, maybe.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
he does.
yeah, like the assumption that we take part in fish racing because we expect to win and stuff like that. And the interesting thing about the self-serving biases study was that they came in with the assumption that we assume that we lose because it's something external, like, I don't know, the weather was bad or something. But we win because of internal reasons, like
Mm.
we are just super skilled and, I don't know, smart, and that's why we win. But it turned out in the study that people don't have as much external reasoning, self-serving bias as they assumed. So that was an
Mm-hmm.
interesting plot twist.
Yeah.
And Robert Merton was actually a sociologist, not a psychologist, and he coined the term self-fulfilling prophecy, which is a very fun phenomenon with like dramatic potential,
Yeah.
hubris, and all that. And he also coined the term role model, like an extra fun fact. So yeah, I
Yeah.
like him a lot.
Yeah, and
Like this NPC.
he's also like I also like how he's placed on the roadside in front of the lighthouse
Yeah,
and right next to a race as he talks about them.
very
Um
powerful placement.
yeah, and nice dialogue and nice name. I think Sunlight Zone.
Yep.
Let's go on. Alright, the next guy is Minos, which is I think one of the like I don't know two NPCs that I have named myself. And I
Well, you
just
did Butty and Buggy.
I did, but that was just that was just too perfect.
Didn't you
Um,
also do Zdroj?
no, I don't think I did.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure what else. I think I named maybe one or two more aside from these three, but I'm not sure. But
Okay.
yeah, Minos he is a homeless guy, and he lives in this like tent made out of the cup tops. And like I said, he's one of the only people that still remembers the old gods and religion. And his dialogue is like related to this. And I also kind of like his dialogue, but I mean, maybe I'm just biased, but I think he's a Twilight Zone candidate.
Yeah. I would say either Twilight Zone or Midnight Zone, so I guess Twilight it is.
All right,
He's a nice little fella.
he's a little fella. All right, well, the next one is the mysterious isopod.
Could it be the Easter egg, I
Mm-hmm.
suppose?
It is the Easter egg isopod. Trenches. No.
Yes, yes.
Alright, trenches it is.
Banishment.
Uh, okay, the
Well, he
next
is
one.
out on the outskirts, so
Yeah, he's looking out on the trench too, from his little house.
yes,
So
he
the
wants
next
to get
one,
out. He wants to
then
get out, and I respect that.
yeah, fair. The next one
Or
I have to
no,
check.
actually, I should say that I don't respect that. How could he want to leave the beautiful, wonderful, the best ever town of the Abyss?
True that.
Okay, you.
Or the next isopod is uh Niesir? Nisir? Me when names. This guy.
Yes.
I don't have any particularly strong feelings on him, but I will say that I really like the dark gray and dark blue and white isopod like colors.
Mm.
Maybe I'm just too used to the original like pink one, but I am like yes, these darker isopods are the shit. Um, for some reason.
Yeah,
So
I don't have very strong feelings about him either. Although the guy, the psychologist he's named after,
Hmm.
uh, he studied memory accuracy and he criticized light bulb memory. I honestly don't remember what was that about, but love me a little hater. He criticized something, so I liked him.
Fair enough. I would put him
Yeah,
either
but like
Midnight Zone or Abyssal Zone.
yeah, like middle, the midnight zone.
Alright. So the next guy, I think, is Olds, but let me check for sure. Yep, it's Olds. So the fun fact about Olds and Zedroy is that in my like personal opinion, they had like the worst dialogue or like the dialogue that bugged me the most. So I changed it shortly before the release, and I mean it's not perfect, but I do think it's better currently. Yes.
They are also, I think, the two NPCs that are most likely to be encountered, like besides Anita, of course.
Yeah,
Like pretty
and
much
Little
everyone,
Minos.
yeah, everyone pretty much ends up near the beer station eventually.
And Oz has a canonical crush on Zedroy. Though you can't find that out anymore, but it is still true. And
Yeah, his name. Yeah, go on.
another thing with I suppose it's more about Zedroid with some, but I really like how he's placed in this like red barrel, and then
Yes.
Olds is one of the only isopods that you interact with that actually has like a fish. Like he
Yeah.
has like a fish parked right next to him that we know belongs to him. So that, I think that's pretty big dick of him.
Yes. He's named after Olds and Milner study. It's a
Mm.
very old experiment from the 50s, and it involved rats pressing a pleasure level at rates that they wanted to, and some of them reached even several thousands times per hour. So give it up for hedonism, everyone. If you
Yes.
are if you are a lab rat, you want to be in this study. Well, in the 50s. I mean, you're gonna
I
die
feel like that, right?
probably. Like I guess the rats were probably sacrificed at the end. But before that, you have a great life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So what do you
definitely
think?
somewhere in like Twilight Zone, maybe.
Yeah, I can live with that. And would Zedroy go with him?
Probably, yeah. Let's not separate them.
Do you have like
Besides,
any info on Zedroy's name?
uh, nothing. It was random. But I like him because he makes beer. So
He does, that's true.
yeah, that would be like Twilight Zone anyway.
For real. Alright, the next one I have to check, but I think it's the person that is standing in the bus stop. Palmer Palmerius.
That is yet again another random name.
What beautiful name though. I kind of like Palmerius. Like I said, I like the dark isopod skin. I like his dialogue, but he's not like giga interesting. Maybe Midnight Zone.
Yeah.
Alright, the next one would be the one that is in front of a circle house and says they don't like circles, and that would be Pieson.
Didn't you name this one?
Uh, did I? I might have. I remember naming some guys after like dead species of isopods. So I believe that this is some sort of either a creature from the Devonian or a type of isopod, um, and their Latin name. But I also remember just giving them this name because it sounded like the name of someone small,
Yeah.
even though they're not really small.
Well, they probably are, like judging by human standards, but judging
I
by isopod
suppose.
standards, he's probably. just a regular crawler.
Just like us all. Yeah. Do you have any like? I think just based on the name without no origin, he would probably be in a lower tier.
Yeah. I also don't really remember what he talks about, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think it's giga memorable, so maybe a Abyssal Zone?
Yeah, okay.
The next one.
It's gonna be awkward if we ever go into the game and it turns out that Python was actually the one with the super interesting dialogue and we just forgot.
No, I know what he talks about,
Oh, okay.
but I will not say it. It will remain secret. You can take my word for it, it's not super interesting.
Okay.
Oh, Rolfe! He was
You
named
did
by
name this one.
Temu.
You definitely did name this one.
No, he was named by Temu. Because
Oh, okay.
this is the isopod that we added based on the like Discord comment that Maruska made.
Okay, well, that is iconic.
It is iconic. Sunlight Zone.
Sunlight Zone.
Yeah.
Oh, the swing
Ah,
baby.
yeah. Pierre Ledoux.
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 Yeah, named after Joseph Ledoux, the neuroscientist. Uh,
Mm.
if I remember right, he mostly studied amygdala and anxiety.
Yeah, and
I,
fits
I
the
don't remember
isopod
much.
super well too.
Yeah,
They're just swinging behind the brutalist building, screaming at strangers,
yeah.
as one does, just like Matsumoto.
So, midnight? Twilight?
I think midnight.
Midnight, yeah.
All right. The next one, I think it's the other person that talks about the black mold next to the factory, Silva. And fun fact, Silva in Hungarian just means plum. Oh, come back here. This little guy.
Yes, Silva Achenbach is named after two guys, Silva and Achenbach.
Mm-hmm.
Silva did studies on PTSD, and Achenbach did the manual for child behavior checklist, which
Mm.
I googled it and it looked quite in depth. So color me impressed.
Wow. And this is the other isopod that talks about the black spot and calls it black mold. So
Yeah.
I
So
wonder if we should put it with
definitely,
their pair.
definitely midnight or above.
Mm. I'm trying to see who was the other person. Beck talked about this, but I have no idea where we put Beck at this point.
Either sunlight or twilight. We put him somewhere high.
Oh yeah, Beck is in Twilight Zone. Let's not
Okay, let's put
separate
this
the
one.
friends.
Yes, let's put them together.
Beautiful. All right. Last but not least is Jeremiah. Jeremiash.
Jeremiasz.
Jeremiash.
Yes, great way to end. Jeremiasz is a random name.
He does stand next to like a car jumpy thing though. Like
Oh
right
yeah, the
under
card
it. You can
jumping.
even see on this picture.
Yeah, the ramp.
Yeah. He
I
has no
tried it.
fear.
I tried it and it's very fun.
Oh, nice. I I remember at one point the ramps were really anticlimactic. Um, right now they're a bit better, but ideally they would make you jump higher.
Mm.
But
I would
the
vote
fish
Midnight
physics do
Zone.
not allow it.
Yeah,
Midnight Zone?
yeah, I would vote for that.
Yeah, Midnight Zone is fine by me. And with that, the tier list is done.
Yes.
Any final thoughts?
Um, they're all beautiful and I love them all.
I have to agree with that.